Welcome back to Mad Outdoor Adventures. Today I want to show you how to make a stinger hook jig, stinger hooks themselves, and a way to store these neatly so that way they do not get tangled. Stay tuned. Welcome to Mad Outdoor Adventures. Let's find an adventure. Alright, so the first thing I want to show you guys is how to make the stinger hook jig. To make the jig, you're going to need a block of wood. This is a piece of wood that I had left over from replacing some boards on my deck. You're going to need a ruler. You are going to need a Sharpie or something to write with. You're going to need a hammer. And then you're going to need 2 nails. I am going to use finishing nails. The reason why I'm using finishing nails is they don't have a big head on them, so I can slip off the loop easy. You can use any kind of nail you want, or even a screw, but you're gonna have to cut the heads off if you do have one with larger heads than like what a finishing nail has. So the first thing I want to do is measure out how long I want the jig to be. So standard size for stinger hooks is 2 to 3 inches. I'm going to do 2.5. So I'm going to mark a spot where it starts. I'm going to go down 2.5 inches. Mark another spot. That is where I'm going to put my nails. This up, take the hammer, get one in there, good, get the other one in. If you're doing this on a kitchen table like I am, just be careful not to send it all the way through the piece of wood. Otherwise your wife or significant other is going to be mad at you if you're not mad at yourself. So now I have the jig. I have 2 finished nails 2.5 inches apart. That's what I'm going to use, so that way all my stinger hooks are consistent and they're the same size. They're the size I want them to be. Alright, now that I have my jig made, I'm going to make the stinger hooks. To do so, you're going to need some materials, first of which is the hook itself. You're going to need a treble hook, round bend treble hook. The size depends on your preference. Standard is usually 10 to 12. I do know guys that use 8 and even size 6. I use size 10, 𝗬𝗄𝗁𝗍's round bend treble hook. The reason why I use 𝗬𝗄𝗁𝗍 is I have faith in 𝗬𝗄𝗁𝗍. They seem to be a quality hook and they're sticky sharp. As far as what you use, that's up to you, but I go with 𝗬𝗄𝗁𝗍's. Talking about price, so there's 2 reasons why you would make your own stinger hooks. One, for the satisfaction of doing it yourself. Same way I make my own crawler harnesses. And 2, to save you some money. So stinger hooks, I've seen them like 2 for $4. I've seen all kinds of prices. Guys who tie their own, like I'm going to do here, if you can find them on Facebook or online, you typically get a better price, better deal. But it's still not going to be as cheap as you can make it yourself. So with these here, I paid $7.99 for 10 of them. Depending on the brand of hook you use, I'm sure you can find some cheaper. So that is going to be 79 cents a hook. I'll put the math on the screen here. Alright, you're then going to need number 1 leader sleeves. Alright, there's a bunch of different brands, etc. Number 1 is what I'm using here. I have a tackle shop that buys these in mass quantities, and then they divide them up themselves. So I got 100 of them for $5.29. I'm not going to be able to do that math in my head, so here it is on the screen. You're going to need fishing line. What fishing line you use is completely up to you as well. I have seen stingers made out of braided line. I've seen them made out of wire. I've seen them made out of mono and fluorocarbon. I'm going to use Berkley Vanish 10-pound test fluorocarbon. As far as the pound test, I have seen anywhere from 6 to 12 pounds. That's going to be up to you. I usually stick in the middle, about 10-pound test. It's the same thing I use for leaders if I'm going to use leaders with jigging as well. So for this I paid $16.99 for a spool of 250 yards. That's going to be 750 feet, and then times that by 12 for inches and feet. I don't know what that is. I'm going to put all the math up here and then figure it out per stinger hook length. So the typical length, like I said, I'm going to do 2.5 inches, but I'm probably going to have 6 inches when I start. I could probably cut it down a little bit, but the longer you have, the easier you can tie your knots. Especially with these big hands that I have, they don't like little tight places. So get you some line, whatever you prefer to use. So the first thing is, let's cut some line out. So this block is about 5 inches. So I'm going to do, like I said, I'm going to use 6 inches just so that way the math, I can figure that out. First thing, you're going to have to tie a treble hook onto one side of the line. So as far as what knot you use, that's up to you. I'm going to use a Palmer knot because to me that's the best knot there is. I haven't had a Palmer knot let loose. As long as you tie it correctly and make sure it's right. If you don't know how to tie a Palmer knot, there are many tutorials that are going to be better than what I can show you because they have animations on how to do it. So if you have any questions on how to do that, just check one of those out. You pull this through. Always add some lubrication. You can even use a nail. Alright, so now I have a treble hook on one side with the main line, and then I'm going to have the tag line to cut off. So now that you have the one side tied, you take the leader sleeve, you go in one side, you then loop it back through. So now is where you're going to put it on your jig to make sure that it's the 2.5 inches that you want. Now that it is the 2.5 inches, as you can see here, what you're going to do is you're going to tie an overhand knot on the tag end. So you can see I have an overhand knot on the tag end. What I'm going to do is move that up to the leader sleeve, and that's where I'm going to tie it down at. Now I have the tag end with a knot in it. I'm going to cut off this tag end. I now have a stinger hook set up with a number 10 round bend treble hook. I have the 10-pound fluorocarbon and the number 1 leader sleeve. What's nice about this is you cinch this onto your hook. Right, so pretend this is a jig here. You cinch that onto the hook of your jig. This floats freely. And that way when that walleye comes in and sucks the lure in by opening up his gill plate, this is going to be the lightest thing in the setup. So this is going to go into his mouth first. And then any short biters, anything like that, you're going to have a better chance of hooking them. When you're done with the jig or the stinger hook, or you want to change the color of your soft plastic or the type or whatever, you just pull on this sleeve. That opens that up and you can slide it right off the hook. You cinch it down, open it up. And there you go, you have a stinger hook all made and ready to go. So let's put on the screen the math of how much it costs me to make this one stinger hook. As you can see, I believe it's going to be like 80 cents. 82, 85, I don't know. The screen will show you because I didn't do the math ahead of time. But you made your own stinger hook. You have the satisfaction of making your own to catch those walleyes on the Detroit River, wherever you're jig fishing, and you did it cheaper than what you can buy it for. As you can see, it didn't take me real long to make one, so you can bust, you know, out however many you have in a short period of time. You know, watch TV while you're doing it, listen to some music, whatever. Just get in a rhythm with this jig and the components that you have. You can make a whole lot of them. So now to store these, some guys just put them in their, you know, 3700 Plano tackle boxes. Some guys do whatever, but to keep them from tangling, what I like to do is I take a piece of styrofoam. So you can get styrofoam from a craft store. Get these out of the way. Keep that guy here though. You can get styrofoam from a craft store. I got chunks of styrofoam from something I purchased online recently. I can't remember, but these things will work. So this is 3 inches deep. So if that's 2.5 inches, it's going to take pretty much the whole thing. You can even like put a handle on it, put some paracord or a bungee strap if you'd like, tie it to something in your boat, keep it in a compartment in your boat, whatever you do with it. This is going to keep it nice and neat. So what I do is I take the styrofoam, I take a drill, and do it like this so I don't drill into the table. Drill out a hole. Probably shouldn't breathe a lot of this stuff in, so maybe put a mask on or something. I don't know. But then you just feed the line into the hole. Then put the hook into the styrofoam. And then in this block you can have however many stinger hooks. They're neat. They're not getting tangled up with each other. So if you need one, you just pop it out. And there you got it. So there's the keeper, here's the jig. Give this a shot this spring. See if you can't make up your own stinger hooks for that walleye run. Get the satisfaction of doing it yourself and save you some money. If you like today's video, give me that thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel. We have a lot more outdoor content coming your way. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll find you on the next adventure.